Hey everybody, JK here from Animator Island. It's a beautiful fall day, so I thought I'd go for a walk in the woods and bring you along to chat about a really important subject related to art. Now, this video is mostly for beginners or intermediate artists, because by the time you get to advanced, well, you probably have already figured this out. But what I want to talk today about is the difference between a good artist and a good teacher, because these are two vastly different things. We currently live in an information age, which means that pretty much anybody can go ahead and make a video or a website or a tutorial and post it online for people to enjoy. The problem with this is that sometimes when people make a tutorial, they can be a great artist, but they can be a pretty lousy teacher, because those are two vastly different skill sets. And much like how you have to develop your skills as an artist, you also have to develop your skills as a teacher. Let me give you a concrete example. Say you go online and find some amazing landscape artist, and this person has posted a video tutorial. You're really excited because you like their art. And the tutorial is called How to Make an Amazing Digital Landscape, or something like that. So you click the video and they introduce themselves. They say, okay, let's get started. First, I begin by taking the lasso tool and I make a little mountain shape in the background here, and then we fill it, and then I add some colors and some textures, use a bunch of different brushes, add some light and shadow, contrast, things like that. Maybe add some birds in the sky, and look at that. We've got an amazing landscape. And you're like, well, yeah, that was great, but when I do it, it doesn't look anything like that. Well, that's because they didn't really show you how they did something, or rather they did. They didn't show you how you could do something. They only showed you their process. Now, it doesn't mean it's worthless to watch other people's process, because it isn't. What you can do is you can glean things from it. But what you have to understand is that you'll be the one pulling things from a video like that. They're not giving it to you. Let me give a rather graphic example. Say you're a baby bird, and a giant vulture comes and drops a dead animal at your feet. You can peck at that animal carcass, and you might get something out of it, but for the most part, you can't eat that dead animal because it's giant, and you're not at that point in your little birdie life yet. But on the other hand, you might have a mama bird, and the mama bird knows that you don't have the capability of eating an entire animal, so she chews up your food and then spits it into your mouth so you can swallow it. I mean, it's kind of disgusting, but hopefully you get my point. What you're looking for when you search out tutorials is a mama bird, is a good teacher who doesn't just drop something at your feet, but explains to you how you go about doing it. Basically makes it so that you can digest and absorb that information. Now, how do you tell the difference between a great teacher and just a great artist who happens to be showing off what they're doing? Well, unfortunately, a lot of that comes down to experience. So you're just going to have to start to discern. But I don't want to just leave you with that and say, oh, you know, you'll figure it out. You will figure it out, but let's give you some steps to take so that you figure it out a little faster. And one of the ways to do that is to watch good teachers. Because when you watch a good teacher, you'll start to see what they do that allows you to figure out what their process is and then incorporate those steps into your own work. So I'm going to give you a list of 4 teachers that I think you should check out online, and you'll start to see what makes them not only good artists, but also good teachers. First up on our list is Stan Prokopenko. Proko. Surely you've seen his name floating around. If you head over to Proko's YouTube channel, you'll find a wealth of videos. And good news, he's a great teacher. But here's the thing you need to keep in mind there. In the years since he started the channel, and it has grown into something very large indeed, he has a lot of guest artists come and do guest lectures. That's not a bad thing, but some of those artists, well, they're not great teachers. They're very good artists, but they don't have the skill set that he does to break things down and give them to you in a way that you can understand. So what I recommend is you head over to Proko's channel, click on the video tab and then scroll all the way down. You'll have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. It'll take like 30 seconds of scrolling. But eventually, you'll reach his original tutorials that he put online. Those are the best place to start. It will show you how he is an excellent teacher as well as an excellent artist. You'll start to be able to pull things from it because he's feeding them to you, but also because he knows how to teach. It's a really important skill set to have when you're trying to share information with other artists online. Second up on our list is Cynics of Cynics Design. Now, Cynics is an amazing teacher. He's also a really good artist, which is a wonderful combination to have. But what Cynics does that's different than most people is that he'll approach things in a way you probably never even thought about. For example, have you ever pondered the color green? I didn't. Then I watched one of his videos and I'm like, heck yeah, that makes perfect sense. So check out Cynics Designs because I think you'll find a lot of really good information that you just won't find anywhere else. Third on our list of great artist, great teacher is Samantha Youssef of Studio Technique. Now, Sam is a mentor of mine and I've learned more from her than most people in the world. I adore the fact that she can take something that is absolutely gorgeous, a drawing, a life drawing, a figure drawing that is so appealing and so beautifully crafted, and she can tell you exactly how to get there. She won't just draw lines and be like, do that. No, she breaks it down into a way that not only can you understand, but you can recreate. And your final designs may not be as beautiful as hers until you build up your art intuition, but I will tell you this, they will give you a fundamental stepping stone to get to that point. And that's really what we're all doing as art students. And you're never really going to stop being an art student because your whole life you're just going to learn more and more. So it's important to learn from good teachers. Lastly, and you may call me biased for this one, but it's our very own Ferdinand Englander. Ferdinand is a dear friend of mine, but setting that aside, he is also an excellent teacher because he knows how to break things down in such a way that you'll be able to grasp them. Here's a fun story. I was recently at the beach and a rogue wave caught me by surprise. It totally drenched my phone and I thought it was fine, but apparently not, because partway through the recording of this video, the audio just cut out. The good news is I was just talking about how great Ferdinand is, and then the audio came back at some point. So apologies for that slight technical error. And I'm really glad that he's here at Animator Island. That's my list, so check them out and see what you think. Go out and see a few other artists who maybe aren't such good teachers. You'll start to get a feel for which ones aren't. And instead of just watching speed paintings at 20 times the speed with a bunch of cuts because that artist messed something up, and then the audio died. Again, I don't know why. Thanks, technology. But the good news is I was pretty much wrapping up at the time, so let's recap. Keep in mind that doing great art and teaching great art are two very different skill sets. If you're a beginner or intermediate artist, do your best to learn from good teachers. When you watch a great artist who isn't a good teacher, know that you're going to have to do the heavy lifting and pull useful information out of their process video. They aren't actually teaching you, they're just showing you what works for them. With time and experience, you'll be able to tell if someone is a good teacher or not. And finally, if you want to learn how to build your own art intuition, check out this previous video for a list of exercises you can do today to improve. That's all for now. I'm JK from Animator Island, and we'll see you next time. Get out of there, fly.